Welcome to instructions for making a library bandana. To do this, you'll need an iron, an ironing board or ironing pad, a pin cushion with pins, a pair of scissors, and a sewing machine. First thing you're going to want to do is iron the bandana that you've cut out in the size that you need. Get out all the wrinkles. Then you're going to take the diagonal edge and fold it about 3/8 of an inch and iron it down with that fold about 3/8 of an inch from the edge all the way. When you've done that, you'll do the exact same thing with the other diagonal edge. Then take a pin from your pin cushion, put that right on the corner where the point is. Then next you'll go to the short edge. You'll fold that one down also about 3/4 of an inch. And put a pin in it to hold the fold. Go over to the other short edge and do the same thing. So that's what you should have. And then you'll take the only edge that hasn't been folded yet, the edge on top, fold that down to right where the diagonal starts. And iron that fold. But you're not going to put any pins in it just yet. Once you've got that ironed down, you can go ahead and open it up. The fold will still be there. And now we go over to the sewing machine. At the sewing machine, we're going to start at the top of one of the short edges. Line the edge of your presser foot up with your folded edge and start sewing. You're going to sew all the way down to the first pin. When you get to the pin, stop, take the pin out, lift your presser foot, and turn your fabric. Now you're going to sew down the diagonal edge. When you do this, go ahead and go slow. Diagonal edges tend to want to pull out of shape while you sew. The slower you go, just let your machine move it through, the less likely it is that that's going to happen. If it does start to happen, don't worry, you can iron it out. Again, you're going to sew all the way to the pin, but not over the pin. You don't want to risk breaking your sewing machine needle. So to the pin, you want to stop, pull the pin out, lift your presser foot, and turn it again so that you can sew down the other diagonal side. And go nice and slow, let the machine move the fabric. Don't try to pull it through, so it's less likely to stretch out of shape. And you'll keep sewing until you get to the last pin that you've got in. Stop, take the pin out, lift the presser foot, and turn it to the last short edge. Go ahead and sew that. Go ahead and let the line of stitching go off the edge of the fabric. You don't have to backstitch because this will be stitched down in a different way. Do that. cut your fabric, cut the tails of thread that were from the beginning. Then you're going to fold over the fold that we didn't pin before, and this time we're going to pin it. You want to pin it on both edges and possibly in the middle too, if you feel like you need to do that. I'm not going to do that here, but you certainly can put as many pins in as you think you need. Then we're going to sew, keeping the edge of the presser foot right along the edge, the raw edge of the fabric. Leaving the tails of the thread long so we can tie a knot in them later. You can, if you want, if you know how to do it, backstitch. On my machine, that's too much fabric. It does not backstitch neatly, so I'm not going to do that here. I'll show you what else you can do if you don't backstitch. That many layers of fabric doesn't want to move through this machine, so I just lifted my presser foot, adjusted the fabric, and it should be just fine now. Now it's moving through. Stitch all the way until you reach the next pin. Again, I'm just letting the machine do it. I'm not moving the fabric with my hands at all. Reach the next pin, I stop. Take the pin out, then go ahead and sew all the way off the edge. Lift the presser foot, pull it out, so I've got a couple of inches of thread. And I take those two threads, double knot them, or even triple knot them to make it extra secure. Pull that knot really tight. Slip off the edges. And come over here and do the same thing. Oh, in my case, I noticed my bobbin thread kind of got tangled up. Hopefully yours won't. If you do, you want to kind of tighten it as best you can. If it's not a terrible snarl, I would not worry about it too much. Trim any extra loops. But hopefully your fabric won't do that. But if it does, don't worry about it. Make it look tidy. And again, take your threads, triple knot them, trim off the thread. And if your fabric is puckery or wrinkly in any way, you can take it back over to your iron and iron it flat. It should work real well there. And there it is. You're ready to put the dog's collar through this loop opening on top. And it'll be ready for your dog to wear.